Before I begin this video, I must inform you that this video is not made for kids because of the new COPA law that's going to be taking place in only a matter of weeks or days. But anyway, let's get on with the video. Hey YouTube, how you guys doing today? So, I'm back with another video for y'all today. So today I've decided to do a video on my wrestling figures. Got a whole bunch of these. Got wrestlers from both WWE, WCW, ECW, TNA, little AEW, and a little bit of New Japan mixed in there as well. So, and I have a bunch of basic and elite figures here, which I wanted to show you guys today. Now, anyway, without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so the first figure in this collection is actually the very first figure I got when I started collecting wrestling figures, and that is this standard JBL figure from the Ruthless Aggression era. This is when he was a WWE champion. He did come with a WWE title, but we all know what happened when he was WWE champ. Lost it to Cena at WrestleMania 21. All I need to do is get Ron Simmons, and then I have both members of the APA. JBL and Ron Simmons were a tag team during the Attitude Era. Alright, next we have a Elite Dean Ambrose figure, or as he like to be called now, Jon Moxley, because Dean Ambrose left WWE after WrestleMania this year and signed up with the new wrestling league called All Elite Wrestling, where he goes by the name of Jon Moxley, where he made his AEW debut at Double or Nothing, and he attacked both Chris Jericho and Kenny Omega. Moxley had a hell of a battle with Kenny Omega at Full Gear, and it looks like Moxley, or Ambrose, or whatever you want to call him, is going to go after Chris Jericho in the AEW World title. Moxley would be a good AEW World Champion. So, yeah. We have a WCW Unleashed Mike Awesome figure. I did a video about this figure, and of course the WCW Power Slam Sandman figure. This was, of course, made by Toy Biz. This was in the final months of WCW's existence. This figure, of course, came out in 2001. Got this a few months ago on Amazon. Next we have a basic Carl Anderson figure. Next we have a basic Big E figure, right before Big E, Kofi, and Xavier formed the New Day. Alright, next we have a basic Kevin Owens figure. When he made his WWE debut, he was still the NXT champion at the time when he got called up to the main roster. Next, we have a basic Tony Nese figure. Next, we have Tyler Breeze, a basic Tyler Breeze figure. Next, we have the Monster Among Men, Braun Strowman. Yeah! Next, we have the so-called cerebral assassin, the King of Kings, Triple H. Yeah. Next we have Curtis Axel. We have a basic Tye Dillinger figure, or as he goes by his real name, Shawn Spears, who is now a part of AEW Wrestling. Alright, next we have a basic Randy Orton figure, the Viper, the Apex Predator, Mr. RKO out of nowhere. Yeah. Next we have a basic Luke Gallows figure. Next we have the Goddess, Alexa Bliss. Next we have the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Everybody's got a price. Next we have Big Sexy Kevin Nash. Wolfpack in the house! Alright, next we have an Elite Nia Jax figure. This, of course, came with 2 more heads. We can change her heads to have different hairstyles in right here, which is pretty cool. Next we have Apollo Crews. Next we have Samoa Joe. This is, of course, when Samoa Joe was still in NXT, but of course Samoa Joe was more known for his role in Ring of Honor for a little bit, then TNA, then he came to WWE, where he spent a good time in NXT, then he got called up to the main roster 2 years ago. And he's made a lot of good runs, and he's had a good run up in the main roster. He would have been a great Universal Champion, but Lesnar beat him at Great Balls of Fire in 2017 to retain the Universal title. But I really wish they would have put the Universal title on Samoa Joe. That would have been awesome. Okay, next we have an Elias figure. No, he doesn't have a guitar in this one, unfortunately. Next we have Nikki Bella. We have a basic Seth Rollins figure. We have a Howard Finkel figure. This was actually a part of a Build-A-Figure series, where we actually had to buy 4 wrestlers to actually build Howard Finkel. So, yeah, it's pretty cool here. Of course, we have Stephanie McMahon. Ew. Alright, next we have a TNA Angelina Love figure from the TNA Wrestling series from Jakks Pacific, which is pretty cool right here. Next we have an Elite Tommaso Ciampa. He is a part of NXT. We have an Elite Kane figure right here. Now, I did have another Kane figure from the Ruthless Aggression era, but unfortunately I had to replace him because that Kane figure I had, he lost one of his figures, so I had to get this Elite new updated version of Kane. And as you can see, he can take his mask off. You can have him be Demon Kane or Mayor Kane. Kane is actually a mayor in Knox County, Tennessee, which is he's actually done pretty good as mayor there. He's still mayor to this day. Pretty cool. Alright, next we have the first Dean Ambrose figure they released. This is, of course, when Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns were a part of the Shield. This Dean Ambrose did come with the United States title, which is pretty cool right here. I just want to show you guys the little evolution. See, I just want to show you guys this right here. Dean Ambrose, when he made his WWE debut. Dean Ambrose in 2017 when he, Seth Rollins, and Kurt Angle took on Miz, Kane, Strowman, and Miz's cronies, Curtis, Axel, and Bo Dallas. Eventually, if AEW releases some new figures, if they do release figures, if they have an updated I will get an updated version of Dean Ambrose or Jon Moxley, so that way I have a new version of Ambrose/Moxley. So, yeah. Okay, next we have Fandango. Alright, next we have a basic Xavier Woods. Next we have an Elite Scott Hall. Hey yo. Alright, next we have an Elite Becky Lynch figure. This was the first Becky Lynch figure I got. Next we have Cowboy Bob Orton. Next we have the Rated R Superstar Edge. Next we have another Elite Becky Lynch. She is, of course, the man. Alright, next we have an Elite Kofi Kingston figure. Alright, now we have a basic Undertaker figure. This is, of course, when he had the Mohawk in 2012, which was when he fought Triple H at WrestleMania inside Hell in a Cell. And, of course, he beat He would go on to beat Triple H, then beat CM Punk, then unfortunately lose to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, which kind of sucked that they let Lesnar get the win against Undertaker. Alright, next we have a basic Dolph Ziggler figure. Alright, we have an Elite Wade Barrett figure. We have an Elite Nikki Cross figure. Play with Nikki! She's cool. Hope they give her a title. Hope they give her a title run. She deserves to get a title shot against Kid Cryer Bailey. Alright, next we have a Kurt Angle figure. And this was right before Kurt Angle jumped ship to TNA at the time, because he was still with WWE at the time when I bought this figure, and then basically he left WWE for TNA. So yeah. Next we have Alicia Fox. Next we have Naomi. We have an Elite Ken Shamrock figure. We have Ruby Riott. We have a Sasha Banks figure. This was when she was still in NXT at the time, and right, I think this is when she made her debut in the main roster when that whole women's evolution thing began in 2015. So, yeah. Alright, next we have William Regal. And the funny thing about this figure is, when I got this figure, it came with the World Heavyweight title. I'm like, why does William Regal have the World Heavyweight title? He was never a world champion. I'm like, yeah, kind of weird. They had the World Heavyweight title with this figure, you know? But, yeah, kind of weird. But hey, it was the Ruthless Aggression era. Alright, next we have an Elite Shelton Benjamin figure. We have a basic standard Jeff Hardy figure. We have a Sheamus figure. Eventually I'm going to have to get an updated version of Sheamus, because he doesn't have the mohawk anymore. He's back to his old bushy hair when he made his debut in WWE. But the mohawk was okay. But his original hairstyle was cool. Next we have Kid Cryer Bailey. And now, the reason why I call her Kid Cryer is because she turned heel a few months ago. And she destroyed her little inflatable Bailey buddies, which actually made a kid cry on social media. And that's why I call her Kid Cryer, because she is a total bad guy. Doesn't care about anything but herself and her little pal, Sasha Banks. But hopefully Lacey Evans will beat her for that belt. Eventually, I'll have to get an updated version of Bailey with her whole full heel attire, new hairstyle, her new ring gear and stuff. But yeah, this is what Bailey used to look like before the heel turn, and then she gone bad. That's why I call her Kid Cryer Bailey. Alright, next we have Sergeant Slaughter, and as you guys can tell from here, his boots are a little curled up here. No, don't worry, he's not an elf, but when he won the WWE title, he went heel and he became an Iraqi supporter. This was at the time the Gulf War was going on between the coalition, United States, and all other countries against Iraq, and yeah, Sergeant Slaughter was a full Iraqi supporter. Luckily, Hulk Hogan beat him for the title at WrestleMania. I think it was in 91, I think. But, yeah. Next, we have a basic Ultimate Warrior figure. We have a basic Ronda Rousey figure. We have an Elite Rhino figure. Of course, Rhino. The EC Mother effing W. And then he had a run in WWE, then went back to TNA, then WWE, then he's back in TNA. So, yeah. Alright, next we have a Elite Then Now Forever Sami Zayn figure. Pretty cool. We have Drew McIntyre. we have Chad Gable, or as he likes to be called, Shorty G, but it's Chad Gable. We have an Elite Bret Hart figure. We have a Rey Mysterio figure. And this is, of course, when Rey Mysterio made his debut in WCW, because this is basically what he looked like when he was debuting for World Championship Wrestling. And I'm just going to say, guys, Rey Mysterio was better masked in WCW than when he was unmasked. When he had to unmask in WCW, I'm sorry, but that gangsta gimmick he got in WCW, it just hurt his career, man. I'm sorry, but Rey Mysterio was better with the mask than he was unmasked. I mean, if he refused to unmask, Rey Mysterio could have gone to WWE in 1999 and stayed there during the whole Attitude Era, but Rey stayed with WCW with that gangsta gimmick until the WCW closed its doors in 2001. But luckily, Rey Mysterio kept the mask on when he joined WWE, and that's all I'm going to say. Oop, drop Sheamus right here. Next, we have an Elite, then, now, forever, Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah! Next, we have an Elite entrance great Bobby Roode. Of course, Bobby Roode, TNA legend. And then, of course, he made his debut in WWE. Oops. Here. Next, we have from the NXT TakeOver series, of course, Asuka. Next, we have Drew Gulak. Next, we have the champion of all the Elite Wrestling, Chris Jericho. Little bit of bubbly. He is, of course, the current AEW World Champion. And he's going to be fighting Jungle Boy in 2 weeks. We'll see how that goes. But eventually, this is setting up for Jericho versus Moxley down the road. Next, we have an Elite Bobby Lashley figure. Alright, next we have a basic Rob Van Dam figure. Next, we have a John Cena figure. Hold on, let me just change that right there. Yep, and here we have Cena. Next, we have a Charlotte Flair figure. Woo! Next, we have a Flashback Elite Alundra Blaze figure. Next, we have an Elite Shawn Michaels figure. Of course, next we have The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Yowie wowie! Eventually, I'm going to have to get an updated version of Bray Wyatt when they make the Fiend figure. And eventually, I will make sure to show you guys that Fiend figure once they make a Fiend figure. Alright, next we have Akira Tozawa. Next we have Paige. Next we have the phenomenal AJ Styles. All I'm going to say, WCW, WWE for a little bit, Ring of Honor for a little bit, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, WWE. That's all I'm going to say. Also, he was a part of Bullet Club. Next, we have an X-Pac figure. As you can see, his tongue sticking out here. Yeah. Alright, next we have a WCW Power Slam Hack figure, or he's better known by his real ring name, the Sandman. Next we have Aiden English. Next we have Trish Stratus. Next we have Daniel Bryan. Yes! 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 No! 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 We have Finn Balor. This is when he made his debut in NXT. Then he made his main WWE debut in 2016. But in the current battle between NXT and AEW, WWE's first move against AEW, they sent Finn Balor back to NXT. I'm like, really? Why would you want to send him back? They're basically like punishing him or something. But Finn Balor is now a heel in NXT. I really wish they put Finn Balor back on the main roster, you know. Next we have Ravishing Rick Rude. We have, of course, CM Punk. Best in the world! The true best in the world, not Shane McMahon. Next we have Alberto Del Rio. We have an Elite Sasha Banks figure. This, of course, came with the Raw Women's title. We have a WrestleMania 30 Elite Brutus the Barber Beefcake. You guys can tell his eyes, he looks crazy. Kind of creepy, don't you think? Next we have Jinder Mahal. We have an Elite Jason Jordan figure. We have an Elite Carmella figure. My lesbian friend / coworker actually gave this to me as a Christmas present, and I really enjoy this figure here. I gave her a Harley Quinn figure for her birthday, and as a thank you. So yeah, I got this from my lesbian coworker / friend. We of course have The Miz. We have Dana Brooke. You guys want to find something weird about Dana Brooke? Her and Dave Bautista, aka Batista, aka Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy. It turns out Dana Brooke and Batista are actually flirting with each other. I'm like, what? What? I'm like, yeah, kind of weird. Yeah, wonder who got feelings for each other first. Yeah, that's a weird thing going on here. Alright, this is not a WWE figure, but this is a wrestling figure. This is a Legends of Professional Wrestling Shane Douglas figure. Of course, Shane Douglas was a part of WWE in the early 90s. Then he went to WCW. Then he went to ECW, where he made a big name for himself. Went to WWE again, got a terrible college professor gimmick. Went back to ECW, continued to make a name for himself. Went to WCW, and he stayed there until the company closed in 2001. Then he basically went on the indie circuit, and I think he's still going at it, but I don't know. But this is the franchise. We have another Carmella figure. This is, of course, when Carmella was in NXT. We have Brie Bella. We have Christian. We have Ryback. We have a Roman Reigns figure. Now, here's the thing about this Roman Reigns figure here. When I bought this figure, they forgot to finish coloring his beard, so I had to use a permanent marker to color his beard out to finish it up. I'm like, okay, this is a rare figure here, but yeah, it all works out. Eventually, I'll have to get an updated version of Roman Reigns, but I'm not complaining. Alright, next we have an Elite Seth Rollins figure. Alright, next we have the part-time champion of Suplex City, Brock Lesnar. That's right, part-time. He's a joke. But I did have another Brock Lesnar figure, one with his mouth open. That one was also an Elite figure, but I gave that to my cousin's kid on Thanksgiving last year because I needed this Brock Lesnar came with the Universal title, so I just gave that to my cousin's kid on Thanksgiving last year, but yeah, I needed the Universal title for this one. So, yeah. Alright, next we have an Elite Big Boss Man. Next we have an Elite Rusev Crush! It's Rusev, but Rusev says, Rusev Crush! we're almost done with this video, guys. All right, next we have Cesaro. Next we have a Charlie Haas figure. He was a part of the Ruthless Aggression era. We have an Elite Dusty Rhodes. We have the fake best in the world Shane McMahon. Of course, Kevin Owens beat his ass on Force Friday, October 4th, when SmackDown made its Fox debut. And we haven't seen that idiot Shane McMahon since. Thank God. Next, we have Bo Dallas. We have Matt Hardy. Wonderful! Delete! 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 We have the most electrifying man in all of sports entertainment. If you smell what The Rock is cooking. Next we have the 3-time WCW champion, Diamond Dallas Page. Bang! Of course, Diamond Dallas Page has been making appearances here and there on AEW Dynamite, which is pretty cool. Next we have the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo! Alright, next we have Shinsuke Nakamura. Of course, he had a great run in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then eventually he made his WWE debut in 2016, which is pretty cool. Next, we have a Marvel toy Sting figure when Sting was a part of TNA Wrestling. And of course, as you guys can see, his jacket does not come off here. Of course, his arms are part of the jacket. As you guys can tell, the figure, you can close his fist up like a fist. You can open his arm and close his arm right here. But, yeah. And as you guys can tell, his decal on his ring attire is fading out. But, yeah, this is the Sting figure. And last, but certainly not least, my last figure, of course, the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Give me a hell yeah! Hell yeah! I was trying to imitate a crowd's, but, oh, hell yeah. Alright, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. If there's any people that collect wrestling figures out there, let me know in the comments section down below. What is your all-time, what figures did you use to collect? Do you guys collect the WWE figures, the WCW, the ECW, the TNA, you name it. Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, turn on notifications, stay informed. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and may the Force be with you, always.